Hi, a very good day to everyone, and welcome to Seller Catalog Pathshala. My name is Ashima Agarwal, and I head Amazon India Catalog Experience. Today, we are here to talk about some of the best catalog practices and how you can actually make the best out of your catalog. To support me, I have Abhishek Kumar from my team. He's the senior product manager for Amazon India Catalog, and he is going to be representing the seller side, which is your side, and I will be answering questions on Amazon's behalf. So over to you, Abhishek.
Thank you, Ashima. Um, Ashima, I wanted to understand, as a seller, most of me and my colleagues have this query that to succeed on Amazon, to have a great sales on Amazon, we generally need to be an FBA partner or have good inventory or have a good offer. We are unsure as to why is a catalog important. So can you maybe just help us understand why do we need to have a good catalog apart from being a Prime member, having a great inventory, and having offering the best price?
Sure, that's a very good question, Abhishek. So, catalog is the first interaction of your customer with Amazon. What does that mean? That in a typical offline world, customers have the flexibility to go to a shop, ask for the product, and can actually see and feel the product. We are trying to map that experience virtually through online, and that is why catalog is important. When we say, why do we need a good catalog? The catalog is important because it enriches all the information about your product, which is important for customers' buying decision. The second one is the look and the feel of the product can only be done through this catalog, which you are displaying on Amazon website. It helps increasing sales. A lot of sellers are bothered, I'm not getting good sales, even though put in my catalog. But there can be many reasons in your catalog why you're not getting enough sales. How your products are discoverable, how they will be searched by customers, again depends on your catalog. The number of repeat purchases which the customer is going to bring into your product again depends on a good catalog. And how many glance views or how many search are you able to convert again depends on a good catalog. I hope that answers your question, Abhishek.
Yes, Ashima. So that brings to my next question, and thank you for that. However, when you say that my catalog influences how a customer looks my product or perceives my product, I would really want to understand what are the touch points where a customer actually has to interact with my catalog, and how what are those core components of a catalog which makes a catalog really good. So can you maybe just throw some light on that for my understanding?
Sure. So the moment customer logs in or types in a keyword in the search bar, the very first interaction or the very first thing which the customers see is the product title and the product image. And those are very two important things, attributes which we would say important for customer to get the first impression of the product. If the title is right, if it has the right information, and it is supporting the image which is displayed against the title, that becomes the first impression of the product. And of course, before you even go to title and image, how rightly you have categorized your products will again influence the search piece of. Now, once I, as a customer, I am convinced that yes, this is the right product to click, and I click on that product and go to the next page, which is the product detail page. Now, product detail page again will have image, but this time customer will be able to see both primary image and secondary images. Title, of course, would be a repetition, but it still matters because it still talks about some of the mandatory attributes of the product, supported by bullet points where sellers can put in detailed information in the form of mandatory attributes or any relevant attributes related to the product. If you have any other information to be displayed over and above bullet points, that's where you use product description. It can be used as a styling tip, a usage tip, depending on the nature of the product. I hope that.
Yes, it does. Thank you. So I now know how a customer interacts with my catalog throughout, his purchase decision. Uh, However, Ashima, I would want to also want to understand that. Do you have any data to back up that a good catalog actually influences your ultimate sales? So it would be good for us to maybe have an understanding of it, so that we can constantly improve our catalog.
Sure. So, when we talk about impact or how beneficial is a good catalog, does it really have any numbers to support? We have done some research and benchmarking against some good catalog which sellers have put in, and we found that if there are good titles, correct titles, they lead in more exponential customer views almost by 4x. And that's a huge one, because if your glance views or if your customer views increases, your sales increases. And then again, it has uh, images which are displayed. If you have good quality images, images are the visual appeal of a product and very, very important for your conversion. But if you have good ones, then they do lead to increase in sales conversion by approximately 1.2 to 3%. Um, we have also seen that wherever we have good bullet points and very informative ones, they need not be elaborative. The short and the concise ones lead to improve orders by 8%, which is a substantial one. And how rightly you are categorizing your products, that will impact your search, of course, but it also impacts conversion by 1.3%. If you are using product description to add additional information about your product, it improves sales by 1.2x. Now, these are some of the proven numbers, validated numbers, and hence we do emphasize that each of these attributes should be taken individually and should not have any repetitive information. Over to you, Abhishek.
Yeah, so that's interesting, Ashima. Thank you for this statistic. So now, me and my friends are, of course, right, aware of what catalog component and how is influencing your sales, and how much it can bump up your overall performance of the product and sales. So I think this is pretty interesting. We would have this in our back of the mind always. um, However, Ashima, in the previous slide you did talk about uh, titles, bullets, and product descriptions as being one of the most important catalog components. But we do want to understand, are like for all types of products these titles are rules are the same, or do we have it like what are the guidelines around these titles, bullet points, and product descriptions, and what is their importance? So can you maybe just throw some light or emphasize on these points individually?
Sure. So if you see the four core components or five core components of a catalog, they are title, images, right, categorization, bullet points, and product description. I can quickly go through and cover them one by one. So if we say browse notes, what are browse notes? Browse notes are basically important how you are classifying your products. Let me give you an example. If you're trying to list a sari, and if you put it under electronics, while you still listed your product, but the customer won't be able to discover that product because it is not under the right category. So browse nodes are important to classify your products accurately, and it is very, very important. How you do it? You actually first do the right category selection, and it automatically generates a node ID, and then you can download the template and see what the attributes are. You can go ahead and list. So the right node or right browse note is very important for categorization. Now, if I move on to the next one, which is again very important attribute, and we lay a lot of emphasis on title. The reason being because title is again the first thing which customer sees on the product page. There are certain title guidelines, depends on the category which you want to list, and please refer to these title guidelines when you are framing your title or constructing your titles, because it will vary if it is a soft line product or an electronics, or it is a part of bed linen. So depending on the category which you are trying to list, the title guidelines will change. These guidelines are available as a part of the style guides on Seller Central. So please refer to these guidelines before you construct your titles. Moving on to another very important one. While title is just like the name or the designation which you carry as a person, as an individual, similarly, title is just a name and designation of a product. But bullet points are basically the attributes which help you highlight detailed information about your product. These need not be too elaborative or in a paragraph, long paragraphs. These have to be short, concise, and has to highlight the important mandatory attributes which are important for that particular product category. Typically, we recommend 5 bullet points because we have seen that generally 5 bullet points are good enough for conversion. So please um, do ensure that you have 5 bullet points and relevant to the product which you are trying to list. That is very, very important. Um, if we talk about the product description, ensure that there is no repetitive information across bullet points and product description, because what happens is the moment customer sees a repetitive information, the customer loses interest. We would recommend product description to be used as an additional attribute for you to your story, brand story, or if you have any USP, unique selling proposition about your product, please do highlight this as a part of the product description. In soft lines, this can also be used as a styling step. In electronics, it can be used to highlight the compatibility features or the usage features. So these are about the product description.
Yes, it does. It does. It definitely does. Thank you so much for taking us through the important components. I was always confused about how do I create my title, but now I do understand that, titles play a very important role along with product description and bullet points. We are going to take care of it once we are, uploading a new product in the future. However, Ashima, there is just one thing that, we've always observed uploading a product. There are numerous attributes which are, mandatory for us to fill in. I'm not really sure where are these attributes shown to the customers, and why do you even, ask us to fill so many mandatory attributes? It just increases our work a lot.
That's a fair question. If I were you, probably I would also get frustrated. But let me give you a parallel story to it. If you walk into a showroom and you ask the person for any product, you can actually see the look and feel of the product. You can touch, you can feel what fabric type it is, what material type it is, what is the neck, and how does the cloth feel like. Now, this experience is not available in an online world. Online world, we ensure this experience is replicated in the form of mandatory attributes. Now, if you list a t-shirt and you do not fill material type, how will the customer be convinced that this is the right material type which I want? Some people would want cotton, pure cotton, and some people would like some bit of lycra material in it, right? So, in order to ensure that customer has the right information to make an informed buying decision, we do encourage sellers to put in mandatory attributes. Now, we hear your concern. Earlier, if you see, so we have made a transformation where there were a lot of mandatory attributes probably a year back, and we have reduced the number of mandatory attributes coming down, with the focus that we will just highlight the more important ones on the site. So, whatever mandatory attributes information you are giving us, we are them as a part of the bullet points and the product description, so that customer gets an overall feel about the product. That is why they are important. So we have heard your concern, and we are bringing down the number of mandatory attributes per template.
So now I do understand the importance of mandatory attributes. We were doing it, but we were taking it a little casually. But we are going to get serious about it and fill in the mandatory attributes as per the required product. So thank you for helping us out there, Ashima. Ashima, this brings to me to my next question is that recently one of my products, right, I got an email from Amazon saying that one of your product images violate some Amazon guidelines and it has been blocked. So I really do not like kind of understand what are the image guidelines that we have, right, and how can I refer those? What's the importance of images, and why is it that if your product does not meet the guidelines, it's kind of blocked from the platform? So can you take us through the importance of images and why is it important?
Sure. I'm sure everybody must have heard that a picture is worth thousand words, right? So that's what exactly we try to do as a part of our images experience. Your product photo is actually worth thousand words. You might put very accurate information, specific information as a part of bullet points and product description, but if you are not displaying the images accurately and in a clear and desired resolution, then the entire experience conversion might go for a toss. So you might be wondering that, hey, I have provided all the detailed information, but I'm still not getting enough orders, conversion, and this is purely because there might be a defect in your images. There are some technical requirements as far as listing images are concerned. And these are again available on Seller Central as a part of style guides. We would definitely recommend you to refer to that in the form of image size, maximum file size, what it should be the file format, is there a color mode for the images, and what should be an appropriate crop ratio. So these are some technical requirements. Please go through them before you start listing. But from a guidelines perspective, and again, this would depend on category to category. So refer to the catalog style guides, which we have on Seller Central. But there are guidelines both for main images as well as for secondary images. Important I can cover: images should have a white background. It should fill 85% of the frame, should not be too small, should not be too big. They have to be a professional photograph. What does that mean? That it has to highlight the key specifications of the product very, very clearly and include only what the customer is going to receive. Please do not bundle it with any other product or any text on the image, which is not recommended because this distracts the customer from the main image. And in case you have multi packs, then have images of all the components rather than bundling the 2 3 images together, because that is again not a very very good experience for the customer. So these are like some of the do's for main images. When we talk about secondary images, again, all the technical requirements apply to secondary images as well. So please refer to them. And the reason why we recommend for secondary images as well, that main image is again giving a high level impression, but in a case of a soft line, say if the customer wants to see a back posture, the customer wants to see how the look and feel of the product is, how the side view looks, then the secondary images play a very very important role.
Got it, Ashima. So that makes me clear about the imaging guidelines, and now I understand why my product was getting blocked and was being highlighted by Amazon for correction. So thank you so much for that, Ashima. However, Ashima, we've talked a lot about guidelines, right? Right from titles to bullet points to product descriptions to categories to images, and I'm sure these must be varying from product to product, right? How do I, kind of refer to these guidelines on Seller Central, right? And is it like readily available for us to refer to when we are uploading a product?
Sure. So I think I have been emphasizing on referring to style guides, but let me take you through how the style guides um, are important and where are they exactly located, so that you can refer to them. So if you see style guides, they are basically nothing but guidelines for you how to list a good product or how to create a good catalog, again depending on category to category. Now as a part of style guides, we have included specifically separate style guides for title, bullet point, product description, and images. The reason why we have done it, so that it becomes very specific for you to refer to. Now you might say that, hey, style is too cumbersome for me to consume. These are too lengthy. We have taken that feedback, went back and improved the style guide experience in terms of making them very short, concise, with specific information which may help you. And one thing which I might assure, that if you refer to these style guides, follow them, your product will never be blocked, or your product will never be validated by Amazon again, because we do keep checking your catalog, but that is for your own benefit if you have a good catalog for customer to offer. How and where can you find style guides? Like I said, these are a part of Amazon Seller Central. As a part of Amazon Seller Central, if you just type style guide on the search bar, you will see the style guidelines. Please click on it, and then you can even choose the category where which style guide you want to refer to. So this is how we have tried to simplify the style guideline experience for our sellers in last couple of months.
Oh, thank you, Ashima. So I think this is really helpful. We were earlier using our understanding of the product, right? But this is, of course, we are going to refer the style guides every time we are, filing a new product on the platform. So yeah, so thank you so much for that, Ashima. However, Ashima, I just wanted to understand that, as a seller, we kind of upload products in bulk, right? And it's difficult for us to ensure that every product or every SKU that we upload meets the guidelines, right? And we are prone to doing mistakes. Is there anything that Amazon does to inform us when once we have something not meeting the guidelines, and how can we check those errors on Amazon? So can you maybe emphasize on that?
Sure, I think it's a wonderful question, because we have tried to simplify this for our seller partners. Again, so if you have an existing ASIN, or your ASIN has been existing on Amazon for last couple of months or for a year, what we have done is, we do send out catalog defect reports for you. And what does those catalog defect reports include is the specific defect which you have on that ASIN. It can be as a part of title, bullet point, product description, or image. So this report will specifically highlight what is the defect against that particular attribute. We would recommend you to download those reports. These are customized reports prepared only for you and for your set of ASIN. So it's not like a general. We do take a lot of effort to customize these reports for your selection. And once you download these reports, you can see that the defects. In some cases, we are also sending recommendations, which are Amazon recommendations, how to correct these defects. What we do is that if we are sending out these recommendations, we give you some time, a time frame of 10 days to go through these changes and allow you to change these corrections yourself, because this was your first ask, that we should be empowered enough to make our corrections ourselves. So we want you to make those corrections. But if we do not hear back from you in 10 days, then Amazon Teams goes back and works on these recommendations and uploads these changes on your behalf. But this is how the current ASIN or an existing ASIN is taken care of. If we talk about an incremental ASIN or a new ASIN which you are trying to do, we have tried to simplify this experience, and we have created all these catalog defect rules right at the time of creation, which means that as you are trying to list, and the moment you hit the submit button, the selection or your submission will go through a validation of the catalog rules. If any of those rules fail, you will be getting the errors as a part of the complete your drafts, and you can download those reports. Again, view the corrections or the defects which have been highlighted, make those corrections, resubmit, and your ASIN will be live. The benefit we have it at the time of ASIN creation is that you will not have to go through the churn that your ASIN is live and then reach out to you for ASIN correction. So you do it right the first time. And that's how we are taking care of any existing and new selection.
Oh, that is great. I wasn't really aware of. I was always reaching out to seller support to help me out to understand what's the issue with my product. But that gives me a clear understanding, Ashima, and thank you for that. Uh, I wanted to move ahead, Ashima, and wanted to understand about something called A plus. My colleagues have always been, asking me to get A plus product content uploaded for your product. I am really not sure why do we need A plus, and how are we going to get A plus content on my product portfolios. So wanted to understand from you how what is A plus, what's the importance, how do we go about it. So maybe need your assistance in that.
Sure. We spoke about how important points in product descriptions are for an important catalog. But what about if you are a brand manufacturer and or you're a brand registered owner and you say, hey, bullet points in product description do not give me enough space to highlight the story of my product, and your product is really unique. So in that case, we give you an opportunity to leverage A plus as an additional mechanism, or as an additional space on the detail page to highlight the story of your product. What is an A plus? A plus, as you scroll down the detail page, below the product description, you can have an entire space for your product, like you are seeing right now on the display, that where you can display your brand, multiple images, and these can be really high definition images which can take out all the details of your product. You can highlight your brand story, you can highlight the uniqueness of your product, how is it different, technical specifications of your product, which is very very important in few cases. And you can also highlight that how this product can have benefits or how is it useful in a customer's daily life. We recommend adding A plus to the detail page because we there is a proven research that it does improve the traffic conversion rate and also overall sales and orders. One very important thing for sellers who are very very concerned about returns, guys, please use A plus, because A plus also helps to answer all those unanswered questions as a part of bullet point and product description, and reduces the return rate as well. So if you know how I can upload an A plus content, what are its features. So we have actually tried to add in a lot of functionalities, new functionalities to A plus. We have now customized templates as opposed earlier where we used to have just few standardized ones. So now you can choose any of these customized templates based on the category of your product. You can use the text and the images, existing images which you have, high definition images, of course, and you can use how information like how to box, unbox, any additional information, lifestyle, brand banners, logos, and the brand banners can actually run as a part of A plus if you need additional branding, which looks very fancy, like in electronics and mobile phones. So we would definitely recommend you to do that. There's an A plus content manager. So if you are a brand with registered seller, please go to that A plus content manager, click on it, choose the template, upload the content, and your A plus content gets validated by Amazon internal team and it gets uploaded. So A plus, the reason why it is important, it helps you to showcase your product better. It does drive purchase decisions, answers a lot of unanswered customer questions, and also try to highlight the uniqueness of your product.
Does sound a lot interesting in terms of improving my brand recall and brand trust. So I'm definitely going to explore A plus and file some of those for my products and see how my sales increases from here on. So thank you for that, Ashima. But that brings to my next question, Ashima. We have recently received some information and some notices from Amazon that they have introduced some few more mandatory attributes around where your products have been manufactured and certain HSN codes. So we are not sure about what are these. Are these different from the regular mandatory attributes? A timeline associated with it, and how do we go about it? So wanted your expert opinion on what are these attributes, how do we go about it, when to file it, how to file it. A lot of confusions here.
I can understand both the confusion as well as the frustration because while we had already advised certain mandatory attributes as a part of the template, now we are adding on to few more. But trust me, we are as empathetic to our seller partners on these additional mandatory attribute requirements. But these are government and legal mandatory requirements, and hence it becomes very, very important for all of us to take care of this. Otherwise, our selection will not be even able to remain live on the platforms. This is a government mandate. I would re-emphasize some of the mandatory attributes in which are needed to be updated on an urgent basis, country of origin, and there are a set of almost 15 other legal mandatory attributes on which you would have received email communication. You would be getting repeated nudges on country of origin. Country of origin is the most important mandatory attribute, and it needs to be updated on all the new and existing selection by 30th of April. If we do not comply to this, your selection will not be able to remain live on Amazon. So please do not consider this that Amazon is trying to make it difficult. We are helping you in sending the country of origin recommendations as a part of our Seller Central Lego page. Please refer to those recommendations. All what you have to do is to see those recommendations, and if they are okay, just hit the submit button and we would do the uploading on your behalf. So we are together in this journey. We are trying to make this simpler for you, but please do adhere to these timelines. Otherwise, there will be an enforcement action, and it can be in the form of a listing suppression. I think last couple of months we have been sending out too many nudges, but this is only to ensure that your selection does not get blocked from Amazon. What are some of the other legal mandatory attributes? You need to have manufacturer, importer, and packer name with the contact and the generic name of the product. What is the unit count and type? Item length, width, and height, which is the unit of measure. And again, item weight is the unit of measure. Expiration date for consumables, very, very important. If you go and buy any consumables or a food item or a beauty product, you do refer to the expiry date. So that holds true for an online world as well. Um, so, how do I update country of origin? Like I said, for any new listing, please go to the inventory tab, select add a product, select the product which you want to list, and do fill in the country of origin. Save and finish, and it automatically gets updated. Country of origin, how do we update? I already walked through the Seller Central Lego experience. It's a simple process because we are helping you to find country of origin for your products, which you will not have to struggle. And all what you have to do is accept and submit, and we would take care of the rest. You can also do a bulk upload of country of origin. So if you think that, hey, I can't go through one by one, so what you can do is you can still use the template, the format, and you can update the CO values against your respective SKU IDs, and you can submit the hit button and it gets updated. On existing license, you can even choose one cross one another mechanism. So if you're more comfortable with one cross one, you can follow the same steps and hit the save and finish. It gets uploaded. If we talk about HSN, which is again a very important attribute now, apart from country of origin. The process to update HSN is again the same as country of origin, but again, something very, very important as country of origin, for it has the option of doing it one cross one, bulk upload. We are even soon coming up with an option to update HSN code based on Amazon recommendations. So this is about how you can update the legal mandatory attributes along with country of origin and HSN.
Um, uh, that's interesting, Ashima. Thank you for that. Earlier, I was at least not taking it very seriously, but now that I know that it is a legal, mandatory information that we need to provide, and to also avoid listing suppression on the platform, we are definitely going to take it seriously. Either upload it ourselves or follow Amazon's recommendation. So thank you so much for that, Ashima. And this brings an end to my questions related to catalog. Thank you so much for taking out time and answering our doubts. We now do understand the importance of catalog and why we should lay special emphasis on the quality of a catalog, and how should we always constantly strive to improve the catalog quality to achieve better sales and better product performance. So thank you so much for that, Ashima.
Just a last word to all our seller partners. Amazon catalog team has been organizing a seller catalog Pathshala. These are workshops specially designed for you. One of your major complaints that you have to reach out to seller support to get your catalog queries answered. We are addressing this as a part of seller Pathshala, where whatever tickets or calls you are making to seller support are getting tracked, and we are picking them up as themes as a part of our catalog Pathshala, and answering your queries as a part of those workshops. So I would definitely urge you to attend those catalog workshops. These are important and customized for you. And based on your feedback, we will keep improvising those workshops and make catalog a better experience for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.